Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at the IoTeX Ucam. This is the world's first blockchain-powered home security camera. It gives you more of a state of mind in terms of an end-to-end encryption between what the camera is picking up and what the phone that you're holding can see anywhere in the world. So there's no kind of third person that can cut in between, hack, and see that information. Technically, it's a collaboration between IoTeX, which focuses on blockchain solutions and other kind of applications of blockchain, and with Tenvis, which is the hardware manufacturer. It sells for under $50, which is pretty affordable for some of the advantages that it touts. Now, the camera itself is pretty typical. It has a full HD resolution. The sensor can rotate 360 degrees, so it's pan and tilt. It supports things like motion detection, night vision with an IR bulb, as well as two-way communication with a microphone. You can talk to someone on the other side. So these are all pretty typical on security cameras these days, but it's really just the software and the encryption and security via the IoTeX blockchain that makes this unique. Before we take a closer look at that technology, how it kind of functions, and the application, here's what you get in the packaging. And this little separate compartment houses the accessories, including some mounting brackets to hang this onto a wall if you want to, instead of putting it onto a desk. We also get some stickers that proudly states "Own Your Privacy, powered by IoTeX," and also a quick start guide, in addition to a few cards called recovery sheets. And the reason is because this is the place where you can back up your key that you use to log in as part of your blockchain identity. Down below here is where we have the cable for power. It is using just a micro USB, and we also have a standard wall adapter just for plugging it into an AC adapter, and that is pretty much it. So the Ucam itself, taking a closer look here, does have a pretty typical build. It's constructed out of a polycarbonate plastic, and one thing I do like is that the speaker and microphone on the bottom is in the shape of a U. There is a kind of antenna on the rear here that improves the Wi-Fi reception, also nice to see, and you can also choose to use Ethernet if you don't want to use Wi-Fi. There's also the aforementioned micro USB for power. So there's actually a quick description on the back of the recovery sheet. So as a quick recap of how this works, instead of logging in using a traditional email or password to create an account, you use a private key, which is generated and unique, allowing only you to log into the device. It claims to have 2 to the power of 256 possibilities, making it extremely difficult to crack. It would take it still millions of years to eventually brute force and guess your password. It also doesn't require any personal information linked to your identity, which is also why you have complete control over your device, your data, and your privacy. Internet of Things devices are notorious, especially by security professionals, to be not very secure at all. So this is something that can definitely change the whole perception of IoT products in general being not super safe. It ensures that the videos themselves are not accessible by the manufacturer or any cloud service provider. So plugging into power, you'll hear the camera say "waiting to connect." That's how you know it's ready.
This private key is owned only by you and is used to access your Ucam, share it with others, and end-to-end encrypt your videos.
Connect the camera itself to the internet by signing in with our Wi-Fi password. It is worth noting that this camera only accepts 2.4G. Afterwards, the camera will connect to the internet. It'll take a few seconds for it to initialize. So right now it's say Office, and we're just going to finish that. So this is what the interface looks like. It's very clean and simple. We can also add additional cameras, by the way, just by tapping on there. We can see our current camera is connected to the internet, and we can also do things like take a look at the log in terms of any recorded footage from the previous days of the week or by the month. You can sort back and look through those. Also events, notifications, things like if it's detected motion, just like any security camera, it will trigger a notification and log an event for you to see. You can also take a look at the cloud storage function that you have at the moment. By default, it gives you kind of a 3-hour, 10-second event video recording plan that's free. Basically, it will record the last 3 hours of footage on the cloud, and you can access it without any additional payments. So if you want to increase that storage duration, you can change it to recording the past 7 days, 20-second video recording of when an alarm was triggered. So if there's motion, it will record for 20 seconds. 30 versus 30 days is the maximum setting. That will give you a slightly higher fee that you need to pay. It is worth mentioning that this Ucam does not have a built-in micro SD card slot in terms of the hardware, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice to have that so you can at least use your own memory cards. I guess in a way, if you're looking for something with the highest security, it does make a bit of sense, considering all of your data will basically be accessible only if you log into the account using your private key. No one can even take the camera and remove the memory card and basically steal your video footage that way. Anyways, we have the camera here. We can tap on the feed to give us a real-time look at what the camera is seeing, the timestamp that the camera is seeing. We can also change the resolution. The lowest that you can change it to is 360p if you want to conserve on bandwidth, and you can go all the way up to full HD resolution. We can also turn on the speaker or sound. So you hear a bit of an echo there. You can communicate two ways between someone on the other side with the camera. The connectivity status of the Wi-Fi reception on the camera is also quite strong. We can also pan and tilt, of course, so we can use the camera's motor here to basically start rotating it, and you can kind of do it 360 degrees. Also gives you recommendations of long holding to do a smoother motion. And I can also pan up and down using these arrow keys, of course. We can snap an image of what the camera is seeing, and it's going to be saved to our album. That part, the photo, will be saved onto your phone's memory, so it doesn't use any cloud storage or anything like that. We can also take a look at, recording, which you can start recording, save it onto your phone's memory as well. That's separate from the event logging of the past 3 hours, which is using the cloud's capability. We can also trigger a siren alarm, which will ring on the camera to fend off any potential intruders. It's pretty loud, so here's a demo. Flipping the screen of your phone sideways will also maximize the view of what the camera is seeing, and there's also a bit of a watermark that says powered by IoTeX. Now let's try the night vision mode, which we can do by turning off the lights here, and see if it can automatically switch over, and indeed it has. You'll hear a click of a key, and now everything will be in black and white, but we can still make out details pretty well even here in the dark. So the auto IR sensor does work pretty well, not too much lag or latency, maybe just a split second, 1 or 2 seconds behind, and overall, again, Wi-Fi reception is still very strong, so you get a near real-time experience. And here's what the IR bulbs look like. So we have 8 of these illuminating the side of the camera lens. If we turn the lights back on, overall, again, it's sufficient for making out details like people's faces and even objects, as well as, say, text from a feet away. It's not an autofocus camera, but the same thing goes for most security cams, so decent enough in terms of the overall resolution that you're getting. So that's more or less it for our hands-on quick review of the IoTeX Ucam. It's really about that blockchain as well as that privacy behind the software technology that's powering the experience that makes it special. In terms of the hardware itself, it does work very well, but it's like most 1080p home security cameras. It does offer pan and tilt, and again, the IR night vision does work pretty well. Have a more peace of mind as you're using this camera that no one in the middle is seeing your data. So you can learn more details in the links down below if you're interested, but for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Tenvis and IoTeX partnership Ucam home security camera.